This is Wildcat Dojo Conversations.
We're back. And today it's just myself, Sensei Jackie, and Landon. Say hi, guys.
Hi, how are you today?
Hi, welcome back.
If you're asking me, I'm fine.
I'm so glad. Me too. How about you, Landon?
I'm doing good, thanks.
So today our episode is about water. But before I get to that, I need to fix a mistake I made. In our Musashi episode, I said that the most recent interpretation of his Book of Five Rings was by Stephen J. Kaufman, and I was completely wrong. It's actually Stephen F. Kaufman. Sorry about that, guys. Meanwhile, I downloaded the book, and I found it to be a pretty easy read. I really did. In fact, later in today's show, I'm going to allude to it. Okay, with that done, let's delve right into water. If you're tuning in for the first time, first off, thank you so much. And secondly, we've been spending some time discussing the elements.
Hey Sensei, let's tell them that we introduced the elements in an episode about a month back. Then we followed up with an episode on wind. Both of those episodes were fun and made me think.
And I remember that wind when it aired on July 13th. I don't remember how far back the element was. But hey, when they look, they might find something else they find interesting.
Us.
Right? But now we're jumping into water.
Water, water everywhere.
And nary a drop.
To drink.
Okay. Do you guys remember from the wind episode that we discussed both the internal and the external characteristics of each element?
So Sensei, will we follow the same pattern today?
We will. And we also mentioned in all the element episodes that this is my information inside my head from my teacher, Master Collegian. So let's go ahead and give him that caveat one more time, because can you hear Master Collegian enough in this episode?
You can never hear him enough.
Let's get into it. The external character, the character in movement, is flow. And like we say every single time, it's so easy to say, and it can be really tough to do.
It really is, Sensei, but you have a way of telling us how to figure out if there is flow.
So a lot of times I describe flow as what happens in between each movement, how you get from a block to a punch, how you move forward in a stance. If a person has a nice flow line, then the observer doesn't even notice it. More than once I've heard that flow is the space between the notes in jazz music.
Oh.
We would have to ask Sensei Timmy that.
Ooh, or any of our musician listeners.
It's true.
They got to tweet us. Is that something people really say? You musicians?
Tweet us.
Please. Anyway, if the practitioner appears rigid or choppy, then they need to work on their flow and their softness.
Sensei, could you give us a couple of ideas on how to work on it?
Well, all of us will give ideas, okay?
Sure, Sensei.
I know, Landon, one of the things that you mentioned is how useful video is.
Sensei, for sure. I have almost all of my katas on video, and it's very helpful.
It really is. You can see then how you appear and when you're distracted and all those things. That's a good way.
Us.
Another way that's much more complicated is to do the entire kata with a flow line. You picture yourself doing it underwater, which, by the way, is the way Master Collegian used to describe it to us. You don't stop between any moves. You just keep flowing. I know Sensei Jackie looked up a lot of other words for me to use instead of flowing, but they won't work here, will they?
No, it's only flowing.
You just keep flowing from move to move. As you're doing that, you try to find a comfort level within that flow movement. Then try to keep that comfort level going as you add the power back in.
Sensei, do you remember in black belt class how Master Collegian would take the kata tensha, and first we would do it with our full power the way it's supposed to be done, and then he'd say, now do it in just a flow line, which we would try to do, no stopping between the moves, and it was so hard.
And no isometric tension in the body at all.
No, and he'd walk through to make sure, touching us, that we didn't have any tension. And then after we did it that way a few times, we had to go back and do it with full power. Do you remember that?
I couldn't remember it better.
That's really cool. And if you're wondering or want to learn more about this kata, tensha is spelled Tenshoa.
That's right. If they don't know what tensha is, they can just look on a Google screen. And didn't about a half a dozen different videos come up?
A bunch of different videos, and they're super cool.
I know one that I saw had where they were breaking wood on the guy, which Has been done.
That's the one that I watched. That was cool.
May have been the same one or a different one. Like I say, it's been done. Again,
Yes.
alluding to Sensei Carney, he once did 10 shot and they broke wood on him at one of our either shows or competitions. Tell us what that was, Timmy, and so I can shout it out later and be more accurate, okay? Anyway, if that one seems too overwhelming, another way to work on it is to just actually physically relax your body after a seriously powerful move and before you start the next one. Let that relaxation guide your feet into the next movement. And boy, that sounds so easy.
It sounds so easy, Sensei.
Sensei, I was thinking that you told me that Master Collegian wrote in his book of Set that being able to summon water or softness gives a person the ability to be less telegraphic when he's going to strike. So is that just like relaxing?
I think it's relaxing, a comfort level, and a confidence line down in your chi pocket, right?
Sensei.
But finishing up what you just said, that also makes the first strike faster because speed, according to Master Collegian, comes from softness.
Sensei.
Dun, 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 dun. So if you thought all that was complicated, you are not going to be happier as I push on. Okay, so I need a little joke here to break the tension. Oh, get it? To break the isometric tension.
Well, I happen to have a joke. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
You know, Sensei, I love watching water on the internet. Yeah, I like watching a live stream.
Ooh, now I liked that one. Okay, are we on to the more internal aspects?
Yes, we are, Sensei.
So when I typed up this script, I put quotes around the word more because water represents the physical body. Now, before everybody dismisses this as I don't need to hear anymore, I'm going to start with a story about Master Peter Urban.
Oh.
The second time I ever met Master Urban, he discussed the need to adapt your fighting style, your workouts, your attitude, and even your favorite weapons to your age. Because like it or not, the body changes as you age. At that time, I was really a little too young to appreciate it, but I have never forgotten. And in all these years, I think I've finally figured out that he was a pretty wise guy at that point.
Thanks for sharing, Sensei.
Just like Mark Twain used to say.
Who?
Mark Twain.
Oh, okay. Say it again. I thought you said Mark Chain. I'm like, do we know somebody named Mark Chain? Start
like
again.
Mark Twain said that when I was a child, I thought my parents didn't know anything. But when I got to be more of an adult, I realized how much they'd learned.
He was so witty.
And I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I can't quote Mark.
We should quote Mark Twain, or as you like to call him, Mark Chain. More often, he's fun.
And so wise.
Okay, so that was interesting, Landon, to go back to your earlier thing. And now it's time for us to push into the physicality of internalness or the internalness of physicality. You just say that any old way you want. Us?
Yes, Sensei.
The bottom line is it's the job of the karateka to keep their body in the best possible shape in every way. If you think of your body like a car, oil changes, tire rotations, tune-ups, quality gasoline, all of those are important things. Well, it's the same for our bodies. Maybe we can name out a few things that we do, or at least try to do,
Yes.
on a daily, weekly, monthly, to keep our bodies in good working order.
Okay, Sensei.
Should we round robin it like we always do?
Perfect. Let's do that.
I'll go first. I'm an exercise fanatic, so of course I have to take that one.
And I think the exercise includes strength training, aerobic training, and of course, stretching. Didn't Mr. Collegian say if there's one thing you should do, it's stretch?
Actually, in his book of Set, he talks about each element signifying all four things: stretch, aerobics, strength, and meditation. But can I come back to that another day when we do some merging?
Absolutely.
And that's not submerging.
Ah,
That's some merging.
how watery of you.
I didn't even see that one. So I'm going to ask you real quick, Landon, do you have a favorite between aerobics, strength training, and stretching? I would say strength training is my favorite.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know, but I think I'm going to go with probably strength training because that's what's fun for me.
What about you?
Well, right now I'm in a process of rebuilding. And so it's stretching after anything I do that really helps me grow and become stronger.
Perfect. Okay, what's your example?
Nutrition.
Ooh, good one.
Can't
right?
forget about nutrition.
We must feed our bodies well. Or at
And you
least
know
try.
what? It's such a boring subject, nutrition,
It
right?
is.
I wonder if nutritionists think nutrition is a boring subject, but eating healthy is boring. You're not getting those fries.
Sometimes it's fun. Like smoothies. I do it every morning.
I love smoothies.
How could you not love smoothies?
But just for the record, you have to be careful on smoothies to keep them healthy because they can go into the dessert mode real quick. Okay, so that leaves me sleep. And I just want to say, sleep does not get enough kudos. Having enough sleep is so important. I think they should make a word. You know how they have the word for angry when you're hungry? That's hangry. I think they should have a word for sleep deprived anger. So what would it be?
Now, I don't have a word for that one.
You got to admit, when you don't get enough sleep, you are a grumpy person.
We'll go with that.
Okay, before we finish up this part of it, I do want to say, and Jackie alluded to it just a minute ago, that a person has to be respectful of any kind of recovery process. If you get any kind of injury or any kind of debilitation, you have to come back from that. And it takes a lot of internal strength to do that, a lot of patience, and a lot of repetition.
Kind of just like everything else in karate.
And life,
Right?
Before I move on, I do want to add one more fun fact. One of my many strange habits, two of them being that I like to make up percentages.
Yes.
And that I like to do things in round robin.
Don't we all love a round
robin? Is that I tend to turn something into something else. For example, I said like your body is like a car. Well, sometimes I think of my body as its own universe.
Oh.
Like a universe.
That's cool.
I don't know what it is, but when I was writing this up, I said to myself, I shouldn't use that one because it's weird. But then I got to thinking, did anybody else ever say that? So I Googled it.
Of course.
And I just said right into the search screen, I said, has anyone ever compared the human body to the universe? And it turns out lots of people have. Here's a few just for fun.
I'm excited.
Quora, we've used that site before,
Yes.
said that a physicist named Krishan Singh notes that Taoism viewed the human body as a small universe, which that was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
So anyway, I keep on searching and they sent me on to Pinterest with the caption, are we living inside a huge creature? Right there, you got fun on your hands.
Oh, yeah.
And they had picture after picture after picture. And one of the pictures, when I looked at it, I thought it was an eyeball. It looked exactly like an eyeball, but close up against your eye. Only it was an actual universe all its own.
Whoa.
I know. There's just lots of things to think about there, isn't there?
I think so.
For sure.
But the point is, this is the only body you're going to get, and you got to let it run its course. So you got to keep it healthy.
That's true.
So the art of doing that, of continuing to live fully as an adult, is at minimum challenging. And it's really easy to come out of balance. So again, we're going to round robin. Oops. Ways to become out of balance. Like you've got too much of something. Okay. Are you going first again, Landon, or am I up first on this? Okay, I'll go first. You're right, because I'm going to pick on you, and I'm going to say a person can exercise too much, Mr. Fanatic.
Okay, well, maybe I'll pick on you too. Ooh, maybe we work too much.
Oh my God, I do that.
We both work too much. We all work too much.
Okay, that's a true one.
I don't know. I'm going to pick too much partying.
I love that one because we don't have that one.
No.
We are not too much partiers, but we could put that one on our other coin. We, once in a while we need to sit around and just have some laughs like we're doing right now.
We party with our cats and dogs.
Okay, now we have to go to the other side and name some things that we might get out of balance because we haven't done enough of them. And again, you can go with exercise, can't you, Landon?
For sure.
What else?
Nutrition. Nutrition again.
Yeah. And I guess I'll pick stress release. So you need to get some meditation in on a pretty regular basis. Here's another place they can tweet us, Landon. If I go for, say, 2.5 days without taking at least 5 minutes of meditation, I don't really time myself, but it's not a long period of time. I sit down and I pull myself back to center through meditation. I can feel it, just like I can feel it if I haven't gotten enough sleep. So if you're a listener and you meditate on a regular basis, but like me, sometimes you go out of balance, and you have, noticed it, hey, send us a tweet on that.
Tweet us and listen to the meditation episode.
And I'm going to follow up with more of those, but too much to do, too little time. No, she's out of balance with work. Help, help. I'm stuck inside this universe. Okay, did we name them all, Jackie?
Did we talk about doctor visits? Because we need to go to the doctor for prevention. And sadly, for those of you who dislike it, the dentist is really important too.
And maintenance. And also, doctors are not just physical doctors. You've got a therapist.
Yes,
correct?
all kinds.
You've got nutritionist. So
Bunch of ists.
Can we just say experts? Don't forget to search out an expert when you need them.
For sure.
Good. All righty. I'm going to go ahead and push on to a note from the Musashi book that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And here's what Musashi wrote that Stephen F. Kaufman interpreted, and I am quoting. Boy, that was a mouthful.
Excellent.
Always fight with your spine erect and unbent. Keep your shoulders relaxed and lowered. Tighten your abdominal muscles and root yourself into the ground. Make yourself bigger in your mind than you are as a manner of intimidating the enemy. Now, all of this is part of that physicality thing, don't you guys think?
Yes, I think so, Sensei.
For sure.
I think some people automatically have that kind of presence, and a lot of people consciously need to try to achieve it.
And Sensei, when you're teaching, have you noticed, as I have, standing in the back of the room watching people move, who the students are that do it automatically and who we're going to help to achieve that kind of comfort in being strong?
Yeah, and tapping into your chi pocket drops your lats straight down, your latissimus dorsi muscle, and lets you be able to relax those shoulders. And that's a good key right there if you're wanting a starting point. So it turns out the starting point is the chi pocket.
Ooh. And you know what else he said that was in that same chapter?
Are you talking about Kaufman / Musashi?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
When you decide how to stand when you fight, think about how you look to yourself, not to others.
I remember that line, and I love that concept because we can never have enough repetition of stopping ourselves from living as if how we appear to others is more important than who and what we actually are. Boy, that's a mouthful of sentence right there.
And that is so hard to do.
So I wrote on my script pretty cool stuff here, but what my brain is actually thinking is, help, I'm overwhelmed.
I think so.
Okay, I've decided to add one more thing that I heard Master Collegians say a lot of times over the years. Here's the way my mind remembers it. Anyone can learn to fight, but only a true practitioner in an internal style can learn to do it gracefully. I love that line.
That's cool.
The embodiment of flow.
And also, very him.
Oh, yes.
You know, he was such a strong proponent of an internal style. That's a style that works both your physicality and your character inside. He was such a proponent of gracefulness. So that's a nice way to finish this one up, isn't it?
I certainly think so, Sensei.
All right, my friends. If you didn't get anything out of today's show, you for sure have to go back and listen again because this was a fun one.
Actually, it did turn out to be a lot of fun.
It really did.
Not just because the cat started eating right in the middle and we had to take a long pause pose. Hey,
but we picked it up with flow.
Okay, can I try to finish up with making a little money today?
Why not, Sensei?
So I have this store where I sell bling.
Bling, bling.
We've mentioned it before. And you get all kinds of Wildcat Dojo stuff there. You can get mugs, you can get bags, you can get t-shirts, you can get sweatshirts.
The sweatshirts are super cool.
The sweatshirts are super cool, hooded and zipped.
And I love the dog tags.
Oh, and the dog tags are cool too.
And the hats.
Oh
yeah, I have a hat. I love it.
I have a hat. So anyway, we would love for you to go to the store, but it turns out it's not like this super nothing thing to get to the silly store. So I'm going to have Jackie explain how she actually got to the store just last night when we were trying to think about how to tell you guys about this.
The name of the store is Cafe Press.
And our store within that store is Wildcat Dojo.
Dojo. You type www.cafepress.com/Wildcat Dojo.
Okay, so it's cafepress.com/Wildcat Dojo, and it should take you there.
And it took me there.
Into the URL screen.
Yes.
Thanks, Sensei. All right, guys. I'm going to do two things here before we close out. One, let's holler out to Honor Athletics.
Of course.
They're our sponsor. I just talked to Cynthia yesterday. They're doing good up in Georgia so far.
Excellent.
Great.
And they're at honorathletics.com. And they are at
770-945-5150.
That was amazing. That was from memory, no script. So Cynthia, you give Landon a shout out sometime at having that number at the top of his head. That was amazing. And also, we are all over the web at Wildcat Dojo, all one word. That's our webpage. That's our Facebook. That's our Twitter. That's the Cafe Press page. And that's our YouTube page. We really don't have much on our YouTube page. But there are some cute videos of Landon, myself, and I think you too, Sensei Jackie, or were you filming that day? Singing.
Just
I
think
was filming.
before you
Yeah.
do it. Baby Landon, I looked at them the other day. I'm just standing there, just think before you do it.
You're so little
I don't
then.
have to do
We
it.
made those videos a long time ago, but they're fun. When little kids are trying to find a way to get used to toddler school, preschool, kindergarten, those songs are really helpful as a positive reinforcement. So that's why I put them up all those years ago, and people have used them over the years.
Us.
So if you want to see some goofy videos, go for it. Well, that'll do it, guys. Let's do our goodbyes.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next time.
I'm signing off for this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Hope you join us again next week on Wildcat Dojo Conversations.